The role of collegiate athletes has changed from being simply a student athlete to being a marketable asset in the modern era of college sports. The amount of revenue college sports brings into a school has forced many institutions to change the way student athletes are treated in order to attract talent and keep their programs competitive. The role of collegiate athletes here at West Point is even more interesting, as athletes here still balance the demands of any other Division I athlete, yet also manage the military and academic rigors of the United States Military Academy as cadet student athletes. Our research project was geared towards the historic Corps Squad Slug divide within the Corps at West Point. There are certain sentiments that Corps Squad athletes have toward company slugs, and vice versa. We thought this dynamic deserved a closer look. We considered the labeling theory, which explains how self-identity and individuals' behavior may be determined by the terms used to classify them. Labeling theory is associated with the concepts of self-fulfilling prophecies and stereotyping. We sat down with a few Corps Squad athletes and company slugs to gain a better understanding of the Corps' feelings towards this seemingly inevitable gap.
Yes, there is a Corps Squad Slug divide, and I don't believe that it's changed in the Corps since I've been here. Everybody just kind of views Corps Squatters as being lazy and not really doing what we're supposed to.
I do believe there's a gap between the Corps Squad athlete cadets and the non-Corps Squad strictly, and I'll define company regular cadets as those who have to participate in intramurals or company athletics. I do think there was a divide between the two groups, because oftentimes while the Corps Squad groups have to practice, that is during times where the companies are doing things together, such as company events, company cleaning, meetings, at these times that the Corps Squad athletes can't go to purely because of their athletic commitment, creating a divide in just being together.
Football team, and we were losing by like 30 points, maybe 40 points. It's the fourth quarter, the entire team's on the sideline, and we do not want to be there. We just got our butts kicked, it sucked, and Monken decides to call a timeout with like 20 seconds left on the clock, and the entire Corps boos us. They boo the crap out of Army football, and we didn't want to be there. It wasn't our call. There's nothing we could do. We tried hard in the game, and I wasn't even playing in the game. But being a part of in pads, like with the brothers on the sideline, we come back in the locker room. Kids are throwing their helmet. They're throwing their pads. They're like, you know, screw the Corps. Like, we don't mess with cadets. We're a brotherhood. We're us. It's us versus them. There's absolutely a divide between the two.
Hi, I'm Chase Miller. I'm the B3 Company Spirit Activities Officer. Yeah, I definitely think there's a divide between Corps Squad athletes and the rest of the Corps. Mostly plebe year is when you see it, because they get a lot more advantages, like getting out of drill, stuff like that. But as you make it to the first year, I think it's better to be a slug per se than a Corps Squatter.
My name is Gustavo Lugo. I'm the XO for Company B3. No.
I'm Cadet Ryan Anderson. I'm a B3, and I'm the company military development officer. I guess the biggest divide between Corps Squad athletes and the rest of the Corps is just like who their friends are. Like, most of my friends are in company, but most Corps Squad athletes, like group of friends, are from their team.
I think some people think I try to sham out of things. Some people see it as like hardworking, because they understand how much we actually put into our sport or our extracurricular activity. But it's pretty hit or miss.
So Corps Squatters are typically labeled as being lazy, and people think that we just use our authos to get out of things, but in reality, we're actually using our authos to be an effective Division I sport.
I think the Slugs think that we just go up to our locker rooms and hide all day, and that we don't actually do anything all day. I think the labels they've probably put on me is that I'm a lazy guy, that I'm pretty standoffish, that I don't like spending time in company, and that they're just probably not big fans.
I imagine most core squad athletes think I'm a slug and that I have a bunch of free time on my hands, and like if they had as much free time, then they'd be able to like get all their stuff done too.
Hi, my name's Cadet Joey Levesque. I'm a platoon sergeant in Company B3. As someone who's not a core squad athlete, I think a core squad athlete would label me or look at me as someone just helpful and that's there for them, just because, and I think they think about that for everyone who's just there and able to give them a fair opportunity and good resources so that they could do their job effectively.
I have no idea. Maybe we're unathletic, we're squares, but I don't know, I guess that's...
Yeah, definitely. I've gotten a C, or I think I got like a B minus one semester, but I've pretty much gotten a C every semester militarily. To be honest, like I know they're gonna give me a C no matter what I do. I tried for half a semester to go to cleaning and go to stuff that I didn't have to go to, just to see if it would affect my grade, and I went and I didn't even have to go, and I still got a C at mid-round grades. So now I just, it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I don't think that label like affects how I view the core squad athletes in my company. Most of them I just like base off like how I know them. Like some core squatters I like, and some of them I don't like, or maybe don't think of as highly of.
Yeah, I've definitely been labeled. People around here, they sort of think you're a core squad guy, you don't really care as much. You're not really all into the military and stuff. We've all heard about the core squad C for your military grade. Those are just some few ways it's been labeled.
A lot of times they just seem like they're very close with all their friends, and it's understandable because that's their teammates, but not necessarily as strong of a connection always because they might, always be with their team.
To me, personally, it doesn't, because I like most of the core squad athletes we have in our company. They're good people. They don't follow the stigma around core squad athletes, like trying to get out of company events and stuff like that. They definitely do their part. And quote Luke Weiland, he sends out company-wide emails on weekly workouts, which I think is really cool to do. It's not something he has to do. It's not his job at all. He just does it out of the kindness of his heart. So I like him personally.
If I could think of a specific time where I had to act differently to a core squad cadet, it would just be a time, it happens frequently as a platoon sergeant, just having someone not in your ranks that didn't receive certain information that necessarily couldn't be passed down electronically, had to be passed down by word of mouth. So the way I had to act differently was just go out of my way, take a little bit of time to make sure I got to that person personally, and took a little bit of time to explain to them what they needed to do.
I might just like give like a core squad athlete like the benefit of the doubt, like if they're like, hey, like I'm super busy with something, versus if it was a slug, just because like if you're a slug then you don't really have anything, whereas if you're a core squad athlete you have got practice and stuff. So I like give them some leeway.
I usually make jokes sometimes, just like when we have drill and stuff like that. Like if I see him in the hallway, like, oh, Sham, you gotta drill again, aren't you? But it's all in good fun. I'm never really serious. I know how busy core squatters really are, especially like football players. Like, whew, their schedule's packed. So, yeah.
Through our research and conversations with various cadets in the Corps, we come to better understand the labeling theory alive and well at West Point. There are various subcultures throughout the Corps due to different groups of people having different loyalties to respective groups. These subcultures are perpetuated by cadets practicing the labeling theory. It was made obvious to us through these interviews that almost all cadets are aware of their alleged labels, but few cadets are insistent in seeing that culture change here at West Point. We think that the greatest step towards alleviating some of the tension caused from this gap is learning to appreciate the sacrifices that both Slugs and Core Squad athletes make in order to be successful here at the Academy. In doing so, we may see a decreased presence of labeling among cadets, which in turn could ease the divide between the two groups. Thank you for watching.